Hello students, welcome back to your English class. So, we have completed half of the poem. The name of the poem is "'Tis the Wind and Nothing More." "'Tis the wind and nothing more," as we have come to know about the raven and about the author whose name is Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, a famous American writer, editor, and literary critic. Here, the poem is about the raven. Even the poem's original title of the poem is the raven, but here these are the extract or the paragraphs has been taken from the poem, passage taken from the poem. In first paragraph, when we come to know that the scene is held at midnight, when the poet is walking here and there, he was feeling weak and nervous, but somewhere he heard, when he was about to take a nap, he heard some tapping sound on his chamber means door, room, chamber door of the room. Then distinctly he come to know about the December, when he was he want to saw nothing, he want to see nothing, only and only the one person whom he was missing was Leno. Okay, then he just in the imagination he's finding everything but get nothing, and every time he only want to see no one but the Lenore. So here is the picture. In the third paragraph, he mentioned about the darkness. He beautifully mentioned about the night, about the stillness, calmness of the night, that he couldn't see anything except of, he couldn't feel anything except of silence, and what he want to heard, what he want to see, what he want to listen is only Lenore, Lenore. And when he just spoke the word Lenore, it echoed there. Okay, so totally it was the imagination of his mind that he want to see nothing but only of Lenore. Now we are on the fourth paragraph. Back into the chamber. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. Somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely. That is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what it is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. Okay, so here the narrator finally turns away from the empty doorway. He was checking but find nothing, and now it was full of fire. He had just heard her name whispered back to him. What name? Lenore. Was any of this real? He is thinking, is it real? And again he heard tapping sound, and this time the sound is louder than before. In the second line it has been mentioned, I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before, and it gives the impression that it was coming from the window this time. Surely, that is something at my window lattice. Now he is sure that the sound is coming from the window side. Again, let me see. Then what threat is? Threat is. Okay, again he want to see. His heart starts to beat faster, and his mystery explore. Let me heart be still a moment, and my mystery explore. He want to explore, he want to find out the mystery, what's going on. He tells himself that it must be the wind and nothing more. And finally he tells nothing except of that there is nothing only the wind. The reed means there at that place. There at this place. Here the sum up of the paragraph, we can say that when he closes the door or opens the door, that he realizes his fear, that someone is there, something is there. So he realized fear, and at last he realizes also that this is the weakness and suffering, okay, of of his thought. He is weak from his by his thought. Now here the poem ends with the 4 paragraphs. First, second and third, fourth we have done. Still again read the poem. Okay, if found any doubt, kindly call to me on my personal number. But before that, we are going to discuss about the writer that we have, the poet that we have done, Edgar Allan Poe. I have told you about him. Now it is the time for comprehension work. First of all, we will start with true and false. Here, true and false. Now you have to write true, T for true and F for false. The incident narrated in the poem takes place on a bleak December night. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. Next, the narrator had forgotten all the stories he had read. True or false? Had forgotten all the stories? No, everything is in his mind. Lenore was the name of rare and radiant maiden. What do you think? Yes, in the first paragraph. No, in the second paragraph, this has been mentioned the same. This is true. Next, the narrator tells himself that he is dreaming. No one is really tapping at the door. Yes. Narrator is saying no, there is no one, only wind. So this is also true. We don't know whether it was the wind or something or someone else who was tapping at the door. We don't know whether it was the wind or something or someone else who was tapping at the door. Is it mentioned that he was tapping at the door? Only this has been mentioned that he was checking again and again. Sometimes he heard tapping sound. Sometimes he heard the tapping sound louder than before. But nothing is mentioned that who is tapping. So yes, someone is tapping. Okay. But we don't know that who is tapping on the door, at the door. So this is true. This is true. Now read the sentences. Next is here. Now read the sentences and answer these questions. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping. These are the RTC. RTC means reference to context. So we are going to read reference to context. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping. Question number A. What was the narrator doing before he nearly fell asleep? Before he nearly fell asleep, the narrator was thinking about some of the strange and forgotten stories he had read earlier. Okay, he had read earlier. What did the narrator think? Question number B. What did the narrator think when he heard the tapping on the floor? When he heard the tapping on the floor. So answer is, when the narrator heard the tapping on his door, he thought it must be a visitor. He thought it must be a visitor. At question number B, at last, this is door, which is not clear. Second, the second RTC is, eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my surcease of sorrow. Here he want to ask some question, like question number A. What had the narrator sought from his books? What had the narrator sought from his books? Answer is the narrator had sought an end to his sorrow from his woes. Okay. So next question is question B. The narrator, first of all, what was the reason for the narrator's sorrow? What was the reason for the narrator's sorrow? And the answer is the narrator was sorrowful because he had lost his lover, a young maiden named Lenore. He had lost his lover named Lenore, and he was again and again only want to see or listen the name of Lenore and nothing else. So this we have discussed the comprehension question answer of the poem. Now you just write down true and false in your notebooks. Okay, here the poem ends. Read it again, find out difficult words, find out synonym of the words and write in your notebooks. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.